All right, Del Rio, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the 55th annual, 55 years, yeah, compadre,
55.
55 years of KWMC doing election return shows,
I'm not that old, man.
Special,
That
muchas
old.
gracias to my dad for many years,
Yep.
your dad to Papa for allowing, Mr. Garza for allowing my dad
Yeah.
to do it. 55 years, todavía estamos aquí, handed down through generations. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, compadre, so much
Yes.
for allowing us to have a platform, an audience
No, of course.
to share the news of election results for over these years. Last and obviously a todos también, I want to send a special thanks para all the candidates,
Yeah.
the winners and the losers, because you know what, it's hard to put your name on a ballot because the criticism that comes and everything of it. So thank you to all that put their name on there. It takes a lot. And last, I also want to thank Judge Owens for allowing us to be here in front of the courthouse and giving us some light here and power to bring to you guys this great show. But no other than the 55th annual with me, no other than my compadre, my brother over there, Mr. Mike Andrade. We're going to get right off the bat here.
Right
with
off the bat,
one of
man.
our candidates that said he's going to fix everything. Nah, just kidding. Mr. Leroy Briones.
Thank you guys. Thank you for letting me take a little bit of your time. I know you all got special elections elections and special coverage on the
Yes.
elections.
Yes,
But
sir.
I want to thank you, my ex-brother,
Oh.
for allowing me to come in and share a little bit about who I am and what we want to do and some of our goals. So God bless you guys and God bless the fan base of KWMC. It is important to know that we no longer have a hand newspaper like we did before. It's modified now. Now you get it on certain days in the circulation.
Yep.
Now you get your information with people like you guys that
Yep.
are on podcasts, that are on the radio at the same
Yeah.
time. Media has definitely evolved
Evolved,
from
yeah.
when we were growing up.
Oh, yes, for
When
sure.
we were growing up, in the next day in the morning, the Dario News Herald delivered the paper to you, and that's when you read it. But I'm proud to say that Dario has now evolved. We've got podcasts, we got sports podcasts, we got news on the radio, we got news on Facebook, news on YouTube. Back then, if you wanted to know what the election was, you had to be here.
Yeah, be here.
Or listen to the
Or listen to
radio.
Or
It's
listen to
different,
radio,
right?
right?
It's different. So thank you guys for doing that.
No,
thank you
thank
very
you.
No,
much.
no.
I think we've done. It's been evolving throughout the years, right?
Yeah.
Before we used to have to bring the transmitter,
Oh.
the antenna,
The
a
antenna
power
with the
generator
wire.
with a wire,
Yeah.
pointing it that way, and then move it here, move it there, so you can get a better signal. Now we do everything through social media, which is a lot easier, and also people can see us a little bit more. And then tomorrow we'll still give the results out in our show, right? Town Talk Live. So we just try to do this so we can get all the information. Then tomorrow we can just chat or talk about it, right?
Right,
A little bit more
absolutely.
in depth. So
Absolutely.
like Junior said, también congratulations to all the that participated in this election. It's hard. It's hard to put your name in there, right?
It is.
And I wanted to ask you that. What made you?
Yes, let's get
What
right
made
to it.
you want to put your
Yeah.
name in the?
Well, first and foremost, that's a great question. I wish I had a very complex answer for you, but I don't.
That's
I
fine.
love Del Rio.
Yeah.
Simple.
There we go.
Simple
I
is
love
better.
Del
There we
Rio.
go.
I love Del Rio. I love everything about Del Rio.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, we had so many events that we don't have now. There was so much shine. I remember that when I was going through high school, there was a campaign to close Laughlin, and I don't know if y'all remember this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We literally got almost everyone in town, and they all lined up on the way to the base as that committee came in. Do you all remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And we had shirts that said, "We love Laughlin."
Yeah.
Well, fast forward, I got to work at Laughlin, and I was part of the two-step program with the college and Laughlin doing my undergrad through Sol Russ and Southwest Texas Junior College. And let me tell you what that organization, that government entity does for this community. It's our heartbeat. It's our heartbeat. There's so much things that go on in that on base that Dario has no idea what's happening in there. There's so much work. There's so much togetherness. There's so many things about Del Rio that we need to refocus and show off, because we are the only border town anywhere that has a size lake the way we do.
Yep.
And yes, we have the bass tournaments there, but there's so many more things that we could do to help bring that economic infrastructure back to Del Rio. So I wish I had a very complex answer, but my answer is that I love living here. I love that I was raised here, and I want to show off, and I want to be one of the ones to help fix whatever it is that needs to be fixed.
There we go. Mike?
Man, so again, thank you for putting your name in the hat.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. I'm excited about all the people from our generation. I say our generation because we're not that far off in age.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on the people that are in council now compared to you when you get in there? What's the difference between you and them?
Wow, I'm really glad you asked that question because it's kind of going back to what Javi was saying, how much courage it takes to run.
Yeah.
How much courage it takes to put your name out there and, get put on, well, he didn't do this or he didn't do that. My hands down opinion is I respect the council that's there.
Yep.
In order to be a good leader, you must be a good follower. So I respect the council that's there, but I also understand that in a panel there are different thoughts, different energies, and different directions in what an ultimate solution could be. So for me, to answer your question, is I love the council. I love what they're doing. I'll be at the meeting tomorrow. I can't say that I agree with everything they do, but that is part of having a council. That is part of having a discussion. And nowadays we're so scared of having discussions, but very quick to argue.
Yeah.
So, and that's
Instead
what.
of sitting down and finding a solution.
Yes, sir.
Right. It's
Yes,
just,
sir.
I'm in a
Yes,
bed,
sir.
And before we went on the air, we were talking here, and you kind of said, "Hey, I would only be one out of 7 votes, right?"
Right.
So what's your plan, or what in your experiences with
Right.
your jobs and your work?
Yeah.
What can you do to get people on your side to
Right.
persuade them to do what you think is better for Del Rio?
Really good question. So here's the thing. I will not do anything to persuade anybody. I will explain to people what my views are. One of them being trying to improve our city streets. When I was growing up, my grandfather did 35 years for streets and maintenance department. Mr. Alonso Briones Sr., may he rest in peace. My backyard barbecue conversations were about the integrity and honor he had in doing these streets. I can't tell you how many times he would drive us down the street. Mira, mijo. Here's the street that we did. We just laid a hot mix. We're going to be, I learned all of this stuff, and I would be like, my grandpa did this street. And so that really was something special to me.
Yeah.
Now, for me to sit there and tell you, I'm going to improve all the city streets. This is something that is important to me, right? And, water bill stabilization, right? Can we stabilize the water bill for our residents? There's so much that goes into that. You say, well, show me how you're going to do it. There are things that we learn as we go, and you don't know what you don't know until you get there, right?
Yep.
And so a lot of those things are very important for me. Those are important topics for me. Laughlin is a huge important topic for me. Opening up that airstream of communication between them and us, and continuing, there's the Laughlin program where, we have members of the community that are involved with them, and in their 3 weeks, they graduate a class every 3 weeks in their border buttermilk ceremony. So all of those things are important to continue the foundation, right? So what we need to continue to do is innovate from there, right? And not say, well, what worked for us in the 80s will work for us now.
Might not work now.
It might not work. And with that is the second point. We need an energetic candidate, someone that can attend all the meetings, someone that's involved in local community, whether it be, the Babe Ruth, whether it be Rotary, whether it be the Lions Club. We need someone involved in the community to understand what's making our community work. Why our small businesses are closing? Why are Fortune 500 businesses closing in Del Rio? What is happening with the overall traffic to Del Rio? Why are people choosing to go to Eagle Pass? Why are people choosing to go to Uvalde? What is it that is keeping people to come from us? So those are really things that I want to tackle when I get in there.
So, question here on our chat, de nuestros, everybody's friend out there, the Rio Del Rio on chat saying, would you support a new bridge?
Man, that's a question that's come to me over and over again. I would really like to research it. I don't have all of the figures back and forth about a new bridge. I want to research it, talk to our council a little bit about it before I even answer that. I am for whatever Del Rio is for.
Okay.
I am for the better of Del Rio. Let me explain to you something. Somewhere along the line, in my opinion, we lost sight of Del Rio, and we put our sight on the candidate. It is not about the candidate. It is about the betterment of the city of Del Rio. So with that being said, it doesn't matter who wins. If the city of Del Rio picks that candidate, it's for the better of Del Rio. So to answer that, back to Rio Del Rio, if the city of Del Rio feels that that is a good decision for them, then that's what we have to support.
All right. So, compadre,
Well, yeah, I think it's a hard subject to talk about, right? It's something that I personally think we do need, but like you're saying, we need to check everything out to see what.
It's hard to such a complex question
Yeah.
to give you just a yes or no
Oh, yeah,
answer.
that's fine.
It-
Yeah, there's so many different
it's
things involved in
there's
that.
so many different areas.
And something that I do want to point out is in the last elections that we did, people did vote for a new bridge.
Yes, sir.
Right? At least was it countywide? Yes, I believe it was countywide.
Yeah.
But they didn't want it either on one side or
And
the
they
other
wanted
side.
it
So
on the
it
other
was
side,
like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
we want one, but we don't know
Yeah.
where we want it.
Yeah.
So I think people have spoken, at least in the county's perspective, right, where they put it up. But that's now the other question: where do we need it, or where do they want
Right,
it? Right,
right.
Where is it?
Where
is
does
it-
the infrastructure
Exactly.
fit for something like that?
Exactly.
Yeah, and real quick, just for those of you that are just tuning in, we're live here at the Valverde County Courthouse. We're live with Mr. Leroy Briones, who's running for City Council District. Or, I'm sorry, at place.
At place C.
C at large. I'm sorry.
Yep. That means all of Del Rio.
All of
Oh,
Del
no,
Rio.
no, no,
County.
a whole
bunch of-
So
all of Del
I was
Rio,
going to
right.
ask you. I was going to get to that here. What made you want to vote for or to run for an at large as
Right.
opposed to for your district?
Very good question. So my family, and my slogan is rooted in Del Rio and committed to our future, right? My family's from San Felipe. We lived off Taini Street.
Okay.
My aunt still lives in front of the Church of Guadalupe on Garza Street. We have lived in all areas of town, my wife and I, and we've seen the different struggles in the areas of town.
Okay.
We've met and we've encountered questions and situations as residents. And so that when it came an opportunity to run at an at-large situation, that's why I ran. Because I've lived in different areas of town. I've understood.
We want to be able to help
We
everybody.
want to be able to help everybody. That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. We got another a message here. It says, Ms. Mari Villa, any idea to bring resources to help our families of special needs? This topic always gets looked over.
Yeah. So, of course, you know, in my travels to Uvalde back and forth with our small business, there is a mental health hospital that's being built there, the biggest of the area, aside from Fredericksburg. And so today I actually had a meeting with Mr. Hurao at the hospital, and he was talking mental health. He's talking about being able to refer people to that area for mental health, which is when we were growing up, you didn't talk mental health.
No.
No.
When you were at school, you didn't say, well, he has ADHD. That wasn't a thing now, right?
No.
So in talking with technology progression, we've also progressed in special needs, right? So my main thing is to be able to provide the citizens of Del Rio at least the ability to listen to the question, research it, and if there is a possibility for a grant or an opportunity to bring a program that we don't have, whether it be for special needs, whether it be for special learning, that's something that I would like to do.
Yeah, I think that's much needed here in Del
Oh,
Rio,
yeah.
right? Something that we've heard a lot at the station. That question has been asked to some of our candidates, and it's something that I think people are in need of.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Leroy, now the question I would like to ask: how and you're a business owner, and the good thing about our generation is nothing was given to us.
Right.
We struggle. We've made decisions, some bad decisions, but you know what? We keep on trucking.
Right.
That has led you to where you're at right now.
So
You know, so
sadly, excuse me for
Yeah.
interrupting you, but sadly in the small business world,
Yeah.
there's more valleys than peaks.
Yes.
There's more downs than there are up,
Yeah.
and it's a thick skin.
Very, very thick skin. Now, with that said, how would you help or bring that small business, that struggle and mindset into getting us out of this deficit that
Right.
we're in?
You know, the word that comes to mind right now with all small business owners is resiliency.
Yeah.
Having the resiliency to be able to overcome challenges. Because what happens is, because you're doing good in a small business for 3 months, that doesn't mean you do good
No.
on the 4th.
Oh, yep.
Because a city did well for 2 years, that doesn't mean that it does good for the following 2 years. You know, let's talk about what COVID did to everyone's economic infrastructure and how people and industries are still trying to course correct from that. What it does is it doesn't take the blame game. It takes the people to put their heads together and come up with a better solution. And I go back to my initial comment. I have nothing bad to say about Miss Tina Martinez, Mr. Randy Quinones, Mr. JP. That's not what this is about. That's just, if I can help, let me help here,
Yeah.
because I do have many years of small business experience, and we have struggled in the funeral industry after COVID. We've had to readjust and rechange the way we do our business, the way we outlook, the way we serve our families, and it's really no different than having to do that here for the city. Is go back and let's take a step back and let's go back to the basics.
Brother?
No, again, just to remind everybody, again, thank you for guys tuning in here on Facebook. We're actually on YouTube also.
Yes.
The comments are open in the YouTube chat. If you guys have any questions for Leroy? Leroy, one more question from me. What is it, if you get elected, what is one thing you want to accomplish that you can be proud of the rest of your life?
You know, honestly, you may not, in some of these candidates that are running tonight, can understand this, but being elected is an accomplishment. It is a huge
That's
accomplishment because there's 6 individuals running for mayor. 6 individuals running for mayor,
Yeah.
and so it is a very, very hard task to be able to do that. The modern candidate has to filter questions through social media,
Yep.
has to filter questions through email, filter questions through in person. It is a lot more challenging to be able to get to that position. So although the work does start when you get elected, the ultimate goal for me is to get elected. Because that's one of the big accomplishments for me was
Yes, sir.
well, to be, because I am not a career politician. I'm a family man, involved in my kids' sports. We own a small business. So for this, that would be one of my legacies that I leave back, that I was able to get elected.
There you go. I
Yeah,
like
when
that.
when you try to convince a consensus of people, that itself is an accomplishment.
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to say, going on that tough skin, if elected and you win, you're going into a place that is obviously not the yellow brick road or
Right.
all nice and dandy.
Right.
You're going into obviously the city in a deficit.
Yep.
Obviously, right now, I don't know how it's going to stand till tomorrow. Who's going to
No
be
city.
the interim city manager?
Right.
No city attorney. Oh wait, no, you guys have a law firm
Yeah.
that they have subcontracted. How would you handle that pressure of people blaming you, but still you knowing, hey, I just got here?
Yeah. You know, Javi, that's a tremendously great question. But what comes with that is accountability. Is accountability. When you take that position, you have to be accountable to the cities, the citizens of Del Rio.
Yeah.
But here's the deal with that: is people may look at that as, well, we're on the negative, we're behind the 8 ball, we're not doing. Why get involved? Why put yourself out there? And I look at it as a positive. It is an opportunity to clean a lot of things up and sit down and have 100% transparency with our citizens. It's an opportunity to, it's kind of like the old saying, there's nowhere else to go but up.
No, yeah.
And that's how I look at it, right? You're never going to convince me that the glass is half empty. It's never going to happen. Because as a small businessman, you cannot convince yourself that the glass is half empty.
Oh, no,
It's
no.
always resiliency, it's always accountability, and it's always transparency. Everyone understands the situation
Yep.
when you explain it. And when you explain it and talk about it correctly, then it gives everybody an opportunity to state an opinion,
State an-
right?
Yep.
But como dice el mexicano, hablando se arreglan las cosas.
Hablando,
right? So that
entiende la gente,
trans-
entiende la gente.
se entiende la gente. That transparency needs to happen, right? So that's how I feel about that.
Compadre, you got another one?
No, I think he answered all of them already.
Yeah.
You guys took
Oh,
it
yeah.
easy on.
Oh,
This
no,
is
no,
my first
I-
interview, and so you guys took it easy. I did the rosary. Like, Jesus, you guys took it easy on us. And
I went to adoration before I started this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna
grill him. I'm gonna grill him. Nada, bro.
So
I have 2 fact checkers right there checking facts as I'm. So
Must have been
Well, one thing
Green.
I do in line of current events of what happened in the county, remember, you're just one vote.
yes, it.
Say something doesn't go your way.
Yes, sir.
How would you, I guess, try to get what you want, but yet you got to try to make people understand?
Yeah. So
Somos muy buen habladores, pero ahora
Yeah.
sí, you're going to have to convince unos que tienen que por mis de estos no lo voy a dejar.
yeah, that's a very good question, because what happens is, in leadership, in management, in ownership, you don't speak to all of the staff, the team, the same way. Everyone has a different way that you address them to be able to be an effective communicator with them, right? So because something doesn't go your way, that doesn't necessarily mean that it changes the outcome of things, right? So my answer to you is it's not about me. It's not
you.
about me or my feelings. It's about the betterment of Del Rio.
Betterment
And I
of
go
Del
back
Rio.
to what we're saying, that we have taken our sight off the betterment of Del Rio and we've put it on a candidate. And it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't be that
the
way.
cities, the citizens are the ones who select the candidate. It's not for the candidate to pick about the other candidate. It's about for the candidates to understand that it's not about us.
Yep.
And if God chooses that I don't win this election, then I respect that and I move on and I say, how do I help? How do I help?
How do you help? That's key right there.
Yeah.
Guys, definitely here as we're about to wrap it up here, I'm going to give no more questions here. I'm going to let our good friend here who put his name in there, Mr. Leroy Briones, your candidate for city council at large place
C.
C. Look into the camera, Papa. They're gonna need to see more of you. Tell them why they need to elect you.
I didn't. My wife says my friends say I need to have a better story about my eye. I don't have a great story. I did
We've
have
all been there.
I
Don't
had an
worry.
eye procedure done about 3 weeks ago.
That's what you
So
call it.
I don't have a great story to say. So as you look in the camera and you see I have a black eye on the right eye, it is an eye procedure. Shout out to Dr. Heaton Patel and Dr. Anjali Patel at Galo Eye Center,
Okay.
another community business who did. That family invested $1 million and more into that new building.
Yeah.
I went to go
Shout
get
out
some
to
glasses
them.
there, man. They got a great they got great top of the line equipment. They got everything you need.
Another family that invested into our community. Del Rio, thank you for giving me at least 5 minutes. I hope to be your candidate. May God bless you. KWMC, thank you for giving me the opportunity and for taking it easy on me. I was saw my knees shaking down here.
Good.
Hey, you caught us early, bro.
Got tired. Del Rio, definitely you heard it here from Mr. Leroy Briones, guys. We'll be right back after these quick commercial breaks with the more election show returns. I think we got some more candidates running for your city. For your city mayor, I think we got Mr. Las Castro maybe here joining us shortly, and then followed by Mr. Efrain Valdez, and lastly our current mayor. So definitely tune in. Leroy, thank you so much,
Thank
brother.
you guys. God bless you.
we're back. Like thank all of our great sponsors of this Elections Return Show. Like thank our good friends at Shane's Whiskey and Bourbon House. Guys, remember there's only one place to have a great time, relax. It's a great environment.
Right?
After the elections, Shane, are you open? Pa? I'm gonna need it. Nothing can happen. Definitely Shane's Whiskey and Bourbon House. All the drinks, all the what you need there. Also, beat the heat this summer. Summer came early, and why not with the good friends of Texas Tint, window tinting specialists. They not only tint your cars, home, commercial, your ATVs, the ones that still have a boat, all those good friends of Texas Tint have us on there. Y también, how can we not forget, el que sabe que they know my name more porque siempre ando pidiendo dinero, our good friends at Amistad Bank, definitely with the great mortgage lending, now offering land loans with the lowest APR in town. And it's the only checking account that brings you money with Amigo Checking, all with our good friends at Amistad Bank. Also, and last and foremost, our good friend, Mr. Robert Bobby Hernandez. Think of him in November and the general election for Justice of the Peace Precinct 2, leading with integrity, fairness, and respect. Mr. Robert Bobby Hernandez, candidate for Justice of the Peace Precinct number 2. And now with us, sticking with candidates, candidate for your city of Del Rio mayor, Mr. Lázaro Castro, as I like to call him, Laz. Don't confuse him with DJ Laz now. I mean, no, but definitely we do have a celebrity.
Yeah, that was a different era.
That was a different era. Feel the bass. Who remembers that one? But we'll see, Mr. Lázaro Castro joining us here in our great Elections Return Show. 55 years of being here, providing Del Rio election returns. I'm going to kick it off with you, compadre. Tell me, what would you like to ask?
Well, I think we're going to stick with the same questions we asked the past candidates, right? Why throw your hat in the ring? What made you want to put your name for mayor of Del Rio?
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to come out and interview and give me the chance to
talk to people,
hear me out. So greatly appreciated. But what made me throw my name in the hat? That was a tongue twister. Well, I've been feeling this pull, this tug for about 2 years. And if people are paying attention, I am a current City of Del Rio employee. I am the Parks and Recreation Superintendent. So that's where a lot of my time goes. I've been with the city for going almost 10 years.
Wow.
So I've sat in, numerous meetings, numerous trainings, gone to seminars, and for me, it's always about the betterment of Del Rio. I love my community. I've given my life to public service, my whole adult life. I'm an Army veteran, I served 9 years. Then I worked for the state of Texas at UTSA in San Antonio. And then, but the biggest joy has been working for my own community. Like, we moved home. The city of Del Rio gave me a chance, and I believe I've paid that off in spades. But that tug, it hit me hard in the heart. Like, why not try? I believe, I was raised by good parents. They raised a good boy. Not just spoiled me, they raised me good. And, the generation that taught us, I believe they taught us well. And I believe it's our turn to really pay it forward. We're at a good age. I'm 41. So at a good age where we can tell, the generation before us, thank y'all for showing us the road, paving the way for us. And now we can pay it forward to our next generation and keep that training going, because I don't want to see a generation in Del Rio go astray. And then also, you look around the region, prosperity is, going on all around us, not just, in Texas, down the highway, across the border. City of Ciudad Acuña, I mean, they are booming. Eagle Pass, they are booming. You saw the recent news with Uvalde, like Amazon just an hour away now. That's amazing. But where is Del Rio in the mix of this? And yes, we have ports to planes and the I-27 thing, but we're about everything internally. Main Street for me was a great place to go to as a kid. I mean, yes, I used to go to the Crest. If everybody remembers
Yeah.
the 50 off store,
Yeah.
like man, this was fun times as a
Those
kid.
Chinos?
Yes.
It's the Chinos, man.
The Pez, I remember the little Pez
Oh.
dispenser thingy that used to get there.
I mean, I went to 8th grade down the street, and every day after
Yep.
school, went to the store, cards, gum, like whatever you can get your hands on for $1, and those were the fun times, and I want our generation to continue enjoying that and find a way to bring that back, and I want the kids to see what we enjoyed, because the kids, they really love nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And what better place than downtown? I mean, to me, downtown still has a special place in my heart. Benny's Cafe. I used to eat there with my parents, my grandparents, and I'm from San Felipe, so it's the roots are there, and I think the potential's still there. Why we went stagnant, I don't know, but I want to help revive the city, and going to all these meetings and listening to the questions being asked and the answers. Like, I feel I'm in a position where I can really help, and not just be a politician, but an advocate for the community.
Okay.
Brother, Mike?
You said you were a military veteran, so thank you for your service. What, in your experience, whether it's military or working at UTSA or working with the city, what sets you apart from somebody like your opponents? What sets you apart from them? Why should we believe in you over believing in them?
Well, going into the military, I was always taught it's not about me, it's about we. Okay. And so going into public service, I've never put my own intentions out there on my agenda. If there's a need, I hear it and I go chase it, and I see where I can help or be of benefit to it. Because I tell you, if it was up to me, there'd be basketball courts on every block. But, not everybody plays basketball. But that's where.
Oh, but it's a need. It's a need for sure.
It is. Yeah.
Indeed, it is. The sports community is big, so I always want to see where can I help.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being big when I was a child and a teenager, but now the sports community is growing, and there's showing no signs of slowing down, and I like to see where we can catch up. We're always looking at where are the grants, so to say, where's the free money, so we can get moving on this. But not just for parks, but for everything else in the city. Where can we help businesses? Where can we still grow? What are we missing? What are we lacking? And that's where I like to listen to the community members, and let's see what we can do, and let's do the research.
Laz, and I can call you Laz if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Laz, and before I get into probably the questions everybody wants me to ask, I want to ask, since you've worked at the city, what are those benefits that, since you know the ins and outs, the complaints, sometimes you see like, hey, man, I don't know why POs take this long to process, like, come on, or maybe you see some things that you think you could do. Is that, I guess, kind of an advantage or disadvantage? Because knowing some of these things might be wrong, but you can't fix them right away, how would you handle that?
Well, given that I've been, on the management side for majority of the city career, I feel there's a distinct advantage from going on the opposite side of the desk to that side of the desk, understanding the operation. For those that sign up, bless their hearts for throwing their name in the hat, even the administrations before us, because some people say you throw your name in the hat and unfortunately you get elected. In this case,
I've heard that. The worst thing that can happen is you win, right?
So, in this case, I would like to be the fortunate one to be elected, because I'm going in understanding the operation. I can help, bridge that gap of those that have never worked with the city, and can educate them so that when we do attend these meetings and even go to seminars and trainings, we know what we're talking about versus just hearing the Joneses.
Yeah, definitely. And compa, you have one, or do you?
Well, I think the one that I don't know if
I don't see
the
it.
bridge one.
Oh yeah, the bridge one. Yeah.
It says here that our people from Rio Del Rio said, "Do you support a new bridge in our community?"
I mean, it's no secret that a second bridge is needed. Any kind of revenue is a good thing.
Okay.
I know the other big question is where to put it.
Where to put it, yeah.
But I mean, there's advantages to both sides. I mean, to me, it's like as long as there's a second bridge, then we can really catch up on making this revenue. I mean, there's so many ways to generate it, and that would be like one of the big ways to do it. I mean, that's another way just to generate more bread and butter.
One of the probably, and going on that bridge topic, it's not just convincing the rest of the council, the dais. It's having to make that hard decision. If obviously the bridge was built, or I mean not built, but it was planned to be on the north side. All the resources, the loop, and all that, what they did was for the north. How would you, if you say, hey, we were going to do it, how would you handle that backlash from people over there saying and going and complaining to the county? How would you tell them, hey, step back, we have to do this to grow? How would you handle that?
And yes, I mean, the big explanation is saying, we do need to grow, but I want to back up that answer with all the research and all the studies that have been done. I mean, first and foremost, is the dirt good on the north side? Is the dirt good on the south side? What can sustain the weight? I mean, because there's parts of town where you build something and in years it can start sinking. On the north side, they say there's a lot of rock after you go 2 feet in the ground. Is that a good idea? So I think it'd be more providing the environmental studies and the benefits. Like, is it gonna work? Because I mean, we always can't look at financials, but we gotta look at safety is always a big thing.
Yes.
So as long as I'm able to provide the topics and knowing that they're factual and we did our homework, I believe we can do our very best to convince them that this is the right choice on this side or on that side, and and also praying to God that we're not wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, the city does need it. We do need more revenue, and there's ways to get it.
Brother?
I asked Leroy was here a little while ago. He's running for another position, but I wanted to ask you, because I was curious, what made you want to run for mayor as opposed to a council person? With your lack of experience in politics, like what made you decide go for mayor instead of council person?
And my point of view is I don't look at it as a certain type of position as you would like a cook or a general manager. It's being able to fill a seat and hit the ground running and just being an advocate. Did I consider running at large? Yes. But I did see Leroy throw his name in the hat for that, and he's from this generation, and what better way to run alongside somebody that's within your age range, your demographic, and wanting to do better for the community. There's no better way to explain that part.
Hey, we just got to get our generation to vote, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that
I think that's
is
the hard
struggle.
part, right?
Yes.
That's always
Please
been the hard
register and
part.
vote.
Yes.
Please register. We need you.
Anything,
Your voice matters.
Anything else you'd like to add before we conclude this interview?
I mean, I'm grateful for the opportunity to come out here and present myself and answer the questions to the best of my ability. I answer everything honestly. I don't hide behind anybody's answers. The answers you hear from me, come from my heart. My faith is my foundation. I don't make decisions on the whim. I think them out. I study them. If you look at the projects we've done for the city so far on the park side, everything was done with research and with input from the community. I mean, you look at the skate park, the skate kids, they came in and they came to City Hall and stated the case, and we listened. Because that's what I like to tell people. You want to see something happen, go to the council meetings, go to citizens' comments, and I will hear you out. I want council to hear them out because as a city employee, my voice only goes so far, but as a citizen, your voice goes a lot farther. So for me, your voice and your vote in this city matters. It doesn't, to me, if I hope the votes matter, on the national level, but here at this local level, your voice matters. We're a small community, and every voice is important.
Last, real quick, and I know we're aquí en tiempo here, as seems like there's a whole podium and everything this time.
Getting ready.
Once again, we remind everybody we are in a great conversation here with a candidate for your mayor, your city of Del Rio mayor, Mr. Laz Castro. Here, my closing question. We're in a financial, situation. How would you handle that if elected, knowing that pressure's there, knowing that saying, hey, none of this is my fault, but yet you might know that inner workings of the city of what might contributed to it, and now how would you correct it? So it's like, oh my gosh, to me, I'm like, if I'm in your place, I'm like, I've seen what that deficit could be, what we could have saved money on, but now I'm getting blamed that but I just stepped into this position. How would you handle all that pressure?
Well, I like to think that I'm a visionary and strategic. I have worked in the background and I research other cities in the region, how they generate revenue, and I don't want to give away too much information because I don't want to give away my strategy.
Okay. There we go.
There's other things that I've seen and I've read that other cities around us are doing, and they're generating revenue, and it's nothing drastic where it's going to break the citizens' bank. There's additional ways to do it that is not going to hurt the citizen, and of course, if when these meetings happen in the future for next year's fiscal budget and the years after, that's where we can propose these ideas, and of course, and I'm only going to be one person speaking, and it's going to be up to everybody else to vote, and if that motion passes, it passes, and then we can really start this path to recovery.
Well, Laz, I greatly appreciate you putting your name in the hat there, because it takes a big step to do that. Let alone lo que dice la gente ahorita. Always when you would tell them, hey man, put your name in there, I think you would be good. ¿Pa qué me meto? ¿No ves cómo estamos ahorita? ¿Pa qué
That's
me
when you
meto?
need to jump in, right?
That's when you need to jump in.
Right? That's when you need to jump in.
And as a veteran yourself, I know you've seen tougher situations in real life than just what it is here. Out there defending our country, which big shout out to all of them out there right now, defending our country and allowing us to what we did for the past 2 weeks and what we did today, which was vote, and that's our democracy right there. Sure. So thank you for your service, and once again, just thank you so much for putting your name out there, because I talked to many people that I think that they would have done great, pero les dio el miedo. Like, ¿para qué me meto aquí? ¿Sabes? Me van a comer vivo. Like, you got to go in when it's tough. You got to go in when it's tough, because,
when it's easy.
You go in when it's easy, then on any little mistake, guess what? Hey, like Leonardo DiCaprio does it in that TikTok when he just points like that right away. So appreciate it, man.
Yes, and believe me when I say this, I tried to run away. When I was feeling the tug, I was like, I'm a behind the scenes guy. I like to just work and go home and play, but now it's time to get serious. I mean, I can be serious and I can still have fun. So we're still young and we can do this. But I'm here to run, and with your support, we can do this. I want Del Rio to recover. I want Del Rio to be prosperous, not just right now, but for the long term. And anything I can do to help, I'm here. I'm here to advocate for you, the community.
Alrighty, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Definitely, Del Rio. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I don't know.
We're gonna wait a little bit.
We're
yeah,
gonna wait
so
a little bit.
commercial
We're gonna
break.
go to our commercial break. Stay tuned, guys. You guys are watching the 55th annual Elections Return Show here on KWNC 1490, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. No se nos vaya. I'll be right back. society. As we return back to our great elections return show, guys, I thank all of our great sponsors that you guys have been seeing there. This would not be possible without them. I thank our good friends at Amistad Bank. Guys, remember, home of Amigo Checking, Bank Smart, Bank Local, Bank Amistad Bank, greatest APR financing out there that you can believe, and also now available land loans. Así como dijo nuestro papá, me dice mi papá, siempre me dice y me regaña, cómprate tu terrenito, cómprate tu terrenito. Well, guess what? Go over there with Tony, go bug him, maybe take him a Snicker or two, and he'll let you get...
No, don't say that.
No.
Not with a Snicker, you still got to apply.
You still got to apply and do all that. But definitely, special shout out to our good friend, Mr. Tony Hernandez out there at Amistad Bank. Also, guys, special thanks to our good friends of Shane's Whiskey and Bourbon House. Definitely, guys, the spot every evening, maybe even this evening, the way it turns, who knows how it turns out, but definitely open. Definitely hit them up. Top bourbon, available whiskey, great music, great atmosphere, and definitely, guys, you want to gonna beat the heat this summer with some window tint. That now offering ceramic window tinting at Texas Tint. Not just cars, they do commercial, residential, ATVs. Whoever even has a boat still, they do boats. That is at Texas Tint. They have windows, yeah, they're right there in the in the very front part. And in November, please consider our good friend, Mr. Robert Bobby Hernandez, for Justice of the Peace Precinct 2 in November, leading with fairness, integrity, and respect. That is Mr. Robert Bobby Hernandez. But now with us, another candidate that you guys might want to see and keep your eye out there in this little off season.
Yeah.
But in November, former Commissioner of Precinct number 3, Mr. Robert Bo Nettleton. Commissioner, how are we doing this evening?
I'm doing great. It's a great evening. The weather's perfect. It's nice to see all these people turn out. Yep. It's been great to watch the voters turn out and voice their opinions on hopefully what we'll see some election results here pretty soon, and see how those numbers work out and what direction this community wants everybody to go.
I think we're trending in the right direction. Just like when I went and talked to him, we've got a podium, a speaker now. we're getting somewhere. But compadre, first question for
my just question that I've been asking all night is what made you want to run for your position, for the position of county judge?
You know, this community has come a long ways, but I think we have a long ways to go. You know, my objective here is to try to unite this community, bring it together, and let's start looking for some long-range plans on how we're going to grow this community and bring jobs back to Del Rio, not just, you know, restaurants and stuff, but actual businesses. You know, I watch all my children leave on the weekends and after spring break and all that and go somewhere else because that's where they work. And it would be nice to be able to get the city, the county, the school district, and the community. You know, the community as a whole needs to make some decisions about where we want this community to go. So that's what's got me involved in this race.
Brother.
Awesome. All right, Commissioner. So you've been retired for about a year and a half ish, right? What have you been up to? What have you been up to since you last were in office?
Well, you know, I mean, we own a lawn care and landscaping business. I have a ranching business. We have kids scattered out in college all over the state of Texas. We've been, working on our business and moving that forward, and that's kind of what we've concentrated on the last year and a half, and made the decision to jump back into this game, and enjoyed our children. You know, we got to spend a little bit of time with them, not as much as I'd like to, but we have got to spend a little bit of time with them, and so that's kind of what we've done for the last year. Just took a break and relaxed. And
so was this always the plan, or did something happen to get you to throw your hat again?
You know, I'm
trying to dig deep here.
You're trying to dig. I see how it is. I don't know if it was always the plan or not. You know, I mean, we've always looked at different options. You all know I've looked at state rep. I've looked at other positions throughout the year. I really see a need to try to unite this community and bring it together and build something for the future of our children. You know, now that I've got to spend some time and watch my kids grow up and leave, and there's not a lot of opportunities here for them, it's kind of made me realize that if we can't all get together and try to build a future in Del Rio for our children and our youth and bring back jobs, good paying jobs and good opportunities, we're going to be spending all of our time on the road to go visit them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because I have 2 kids in college also, and I've been asking them, you know, what is it that you're going to do after? They're almost done, and they're like, well, I think I'm going to go to Dallas or Houston or stay in Austin or go someplace else where I can find a job that pays me. First of all, and that I can find what I love, right? It's harder for us here.
And it's not just about jobs; it's about quality of life.
Yeah.
You know, the
Things
youth
to do, right?
The youth of that. I mean, they're looking for things to go do and things to have fun with. You know, I mean, and you see it all the time. We have a lot of young Border Patrolmen and Air Force people here, and they head to San Antonio on the weekends. You know, the Riverwalk, other things like that. You know. We see a lot of our parents traveling on the weekends to go play sports in other communities, and
Tell me about it.
and you know, we need to figure out a way to bring that back to this community. There's no reason we can't have those opportunities here. We're never going to be a Dallas, and that's okay. But
We're fine with that, right?
Yeah,
Because we want to keep our
yeah.
small community.
You want to enjoy your community, and that's, you know, something I hope, you know, if we make it through this process, that I want to get the community together, and we need to ask them, not our elected officials, but the community. What do you want? What do you want for your community? I mean, do you want factories? Do you want, you know, restaurant? I mean, what is it you want, and how are we going to grow that? And how are we going to develop this community in a manner where we're not disagreeing all the time or trying to put roads in the middle of people's houses and stuff like that? How are we going to plan this community out for the next 40, 50, 60 years? You know, it's unfortunate that a lot of times a lot of politicians have a 4-year mentality. What can I do to get elected in 4 years? This is not, you know, if I win this, I mean, I can tell you the most I would run is 2, and it's probably going to be 1 term. My objective here is to try to unite this community and bring it together so we can build a future for our youth. It's not about us. I mean, we're all old and ready to retire. This is about bringing our youth home and figuring out opportunities for them.
Commissioner, Mr. Nettleton, the question that we've been asking every single one, and I think the county selected, or the people, the voters said that they do want a bridge. Just I guess they didn't decide north or south. You know, it is a city project. It is a city that they're the ones that are going to put the hammer down and say, we're going to build it, we're going to build it. Would you support a bridge on the original side where it's at the north side?
No, I don't think. You know, there was a point in time 20 years ago when that project was looked at and was considered not to be a viable project. You know, what I want us to look at is, the first thing we need to figure out is, how are we going to develop this community? Where do we want our industrial? Where do we want our residential? How do we want to lay this community out? And there's a lot of footwork that has to be done before you start talking about a $100 or $200 million bridge project. We have to figure out if Mexico is going to make the investment on the road from Acuna south so you can divert that traffic back into here, because without that traffic, that bridge is going to be very difficult to make. I think we need the infrastructure on this side. How are we going to move the trucks around? How are we not going to disturb our residential areas? How are we going to get them out of here? We have to look at a 4-lane divider between here and Del Rio. We got the Ports to Plains. You know, I travel a lot west on 90, and the amount of truck traffic that is headed west is astronomical.
Oh, yes.
You know, and those are projects that we need to look at, but how are we going to move traffic around Del Rio? And what is the most feasible thing that this community wants? You know, I know the community voted, yeah, we want a bridge, but we don't want it on the north, we don't want it on the south. But we need to get everybody in the room and make that decision. Where are we going to put our next industrial park? You know, what are we going to do to attract an airline? I mean, maybe we need to be talking more about a regional option of working with Kinney County, Maverick County, Uvalde County, and looking at a regional airport that can attract an airline and hold it for a longer period of time. You know, those are all things that we need to look at. But I think the first thing you have to do is ask the community, what do you want? Okay. You know, I mean, it's imperative that we figure out what direction we want this community to grow. I mean, do we want to build an industrial park on the east side of town? Do we want to build an industrial park
North
on the
side.
north side of town? And then if we do, how are we going to move traffic around? How are we going to lay this out? How are we going to promote tourism? You know, this county at one point was the sheep and goat capital of the world, and those days are gone. So now what are we going to do to promote and enhance our tourism for our lake? Not just the lake, but the hunting, the northern end of the county. You know, there's a lot of opportunities there to bring in lots of different types of community involvement on how we're going to accomplish those tasks.
Mike?
No, I think just thank you for coming in. I know we kind of caught you off guard,
Yeah.
bringing you up in here. I don't know if we have some early results coming in soon, but you don't have an opponent this round, right? Do you have a preference in who's going to be on that ballot against you in November?
Whoever the voters send is who I'm going to run. You know, my campaign doesn't change.
Your vision doesn't change
My
either.
vision doesn't change. We're going to talk about how we're going to move this community forward and grow this community where it needs to go. And it takes an effort of the county, the city, the community, and everybody as a whole. Whoever that opponent is, you know, whoever the people elect is what they want to represent them and what direction we're going to be going.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
definitely.
good. Well, we want to thank you first of all for
definitely.
being with us here, for taking.
Very,
Thank
very fun. I know
you
you
for
weren't
time.
planned
No,
or anything. I just,
it's
you know,
all
I
right.
wanted people to get to, you know, hear a little bit of, about, you know, their candidate in November on the Republican side. He is your candidate for Valverde County Judge in November, Del Rio, on the Republican side.
So you still got time. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
plenty.
still.
There's a lot of time, you know. I mean, there's a lot of races. I'm sure we're going to have some runoffs coming. We got the city races.
Yep.
You know, I would ask that everybody show up on these city elections, because it's imperative that y'all go vote and voice how y'all want your community to be run. And whoever is the next judge and whoever is the next mayor are the two that are going to have to work together to build this community where it needs to go.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes
Well,
complete
thank you.
sense. Mr. Nelson, thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
you.
Thank y'all for the
Appreciate
time.
for saying yes right now, because
Yes.
I mean, definitely, guys, we'll be right back after this quick commercial break. No se nos vayan. Alrighty, as
We're almost here.
Vamos, ya mero. Definitely, we're still waiting for our next guest. Ya estamos, what is it, like 8:20? No early
Yep.
voting yet?
8:20 no early voting. It was supposed to be. Well, it's not supposed to be.
No.
We don't know yet,
We
right?
don't
We
know
don't know.
yet.
We don't know. Ms. Chapoy has done a great job of getting those votes out early. We'll have to see what. Maybe she wants to wait and get all of them. Early voting and.
Maybe.
I think that's what happened
You
last
think?
time.
No, la otra vez no. No, the last time I think she said, I didn't know none of y'all were out there. So she withheld it until
the last,
and
yeah.
no, until I don't know, somebody salió and they're like, they told us there's people out there. I
Yeah,
had them ready
yeah.
like since seven something to get.
Well, we need to send her
No,
a
I'm
message.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm
nobody
sure she
so
knows
like,
now, yeah.
I'm scared. Like,
Well, there's a whole podium and stuff set up out here, so
think
she
it's
knows. Like she knows that we're out here waiting for results.
this time it is. So.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if anything,
We'll see right now. I mean, maybe by 8:30 we'll see if we can get some early voting results, or maybe we get all of them. Maybe she'll just.
I'm
do
looking
one.
has that
online.
ever happened, compadre? You that been covering it longer, where you got all of them in un tirazo?
No. We usually would get the early voting first, and then we would get the.
Yeah, and
the,
a lot of
voting for that
a lot of
day.
the polls just closed again at 8:00. So a lot of counties in Texas are just barely starting to
Getting
count the
some-
early votes and stuff like that. And again, right here, this is an update. 7.4% expected votes are in. This is for District 23 for the Texas House.
Okay.
Tony Gonzalez right now has 42.3% of the votes. Brandon Herrera coming in at 42.1. So
Okay,
it's
so
very
aligned.
close. So again, it's like 10 votes
So-
difference.
Okay.
So very, very early. A lot of counties haven't even started counting yet. So we're real early in the
Well,
in the night,
we've
so.
already had an hour and 20 minutes since our polls closed here, but we
Yeah.
got to give them time to get them all over here, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens in a bit. We'll see what Ms. Chapoy comes
I
out
think-
and says.
But I mean, if you guys are interested, man, come out here to the courthouse to listen to the results yourself if you like. We appreciate you watching us here on Facebook and on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
Make sure you like and share. Share the links. You can put the YouTube on your big screen TV and watch it at home.
Oh, see.
You don't have to watch the CNN or the Fox News. You can watch
You can watch,
KWMC at home.
they can watch them for the bigger ones, but,
Right,
but,
yeah.
but for the local ones here, that's what we're here for. We love doing this for you guys.
Especially for a small community like us, like these elections matter. I mean,
Yeah, big
don't get me wrong, Tony Gonzalez and,
You know-
and those races, they matter as well because they'll help us
They're
with
the ones that-
funding and things like
Yeah.
that. But the ones that are here, local, whether it's city or county, like this time it's county, these matter. These are going to be positions for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Whether it's the clerk's office where you go and you need to file paperwork or you want to
Well,
get married and
and
get your
you
marriage
say-
license.
And you say that because some of them don't have any opposition
Yeah.
on their next
Yeah,
ballot,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
so remember,
exactly.
these are the primaries that we're doing here. We are doing the results. So these candidates, if they have an opponent in November, they still have to go through another
They still have to go through
process,
another
right?
round. Yeah.
They have to
and
go
see,
through
and
another
this
round.
it's an exciting time, very nervous time for some of us as we have our next
Ándale.
guest coming on in.
Oh, tiene que
Okay.
ser-
Especially for these
Ando
county,
saludando a
a todos.
yeah, especially for these county races. Today's make or break for some of these.
Yes.
Some of these might wake up tomorrow and that's the end of the road.
Yeah.
For some of them, okay, on to the next one. So again, it's an exciting night. Weather's perfect out here. So
It
again,
is.
thank
Beautiful
y'all,
night.
thank y'all for having me with you. We have Mayor Ariola joining us here.
Ahora sí, after
Our,
the whole
last-
mayor reception, hay que
Se
saludando
aventó
a
como
todos.
2 horas
Mayor, how are
con
you, sir?
todos.
Let me get out of here.
Se aventó.
Pásale, sí, pásale.
Déjaselo. Aquí está su mic. Aquí está su mic.
Ahora sí, definitely
That's gonna
joining
be your
us
microphone right there, boss.
now here, and I think, obviously, first of all, thank you, Mayor. I know you're probably hustling out of, the
Work?
day job allá, y, big day here in the city of Del Rio, ¿verdad?
Well, see, I have to work for a living,
Yeah.
So I just
No
got off
problem.
of Zales, went home, and my wife had bought a quarter chicken from HEB, and she had it ready and
Flaming
warmed
Bird,
up.
Para
Thank
que,
you.
pa' que se alimentara.
Pues sí, porque las energías tienen que seguir, porque
Yeah.
ahí venimos por 4 años más, si Dios quiere.
Si
y
Dios
ahí
quiere.
vamos.
Okay.
Primero Dios.
And going on that, Mayor, given los trancazos que ha agarrado, the ups and downs, mostly downs, what made you go again?
You know, today I really want to emphasize one thing. I want to, first of all, take my heads up to all the candidates that went out for the county. I think, they deserve our true support. Win or lose, they did it. They went out. Their families was with them all the time. And this is something that we have to thank them, because it's an unrewarding thing that they're doing right now, and really I think this emphasizes something very important. Every candidate that did it reserves our respect.
Yes.
And that's one of the key things that we have to remember. And as a Del Rian, they're going to be here for life. And this is something that we have to remember, that we have to support each other, win or lose. We have to support each other. But I'm here to say that I am considering running. Well, not considering, I already done it. I'm going to run for 4 years, because there's a lot of progress that we need to finish. There's a lot of things that Del Rio deserves. And, my deal is, in 19 years that I've been a servant to this community, I've been one that gives, not that receives. And this is what I've been taught in the Word, is give, and the good Lord will bless you. And this is where I'm at. I think there's a lot of things that are happening, and there are going to be things positive and negative anywhere. If you're in the county, school, in the hospital, in the city, we're just moving forward. And I think the city deserves a servant that is really thinking of our community. And that's my name, Alvaro Arriola, and I'm coming back for 4 more years.
There you go.
Okay.
Mike?
All right, Mayor. So I need to ask you and I want you to be very, 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 honest on this one. Can you, maybe in your own words, tell me how you think your 4 years has been as mayor?
I when I first came in, I really, put together, or actually asked the administration to give me the last 4-6 years of what have been worked out. And then the financial part, where are we at? And then illustrated, okay, what are the actual importance of our community? I came in, we were focusing on a new city hall. Is that a priority or a want? Okay, because the wants are the needs of our citizens, our infrastructure, our water, our streets, our lighting, our parks. That is a deal. But me to tell you I've been successful, yes. I think if you look at downtown Griner, Strickland, some of the hearts, because this is what I emphasize it to every administrator. If your heart is not pumping correctly, then the arteries are going to start shutting it down. And this is where downtown is very important. Small business, when they come downtown, remember we Ocho Dos Dos, we got Shane Whiskey Bar, we got the additional, the other, what is it, the Dream, what is it, the thing, the next bar, the coffee shops. We got coffee shops. Everything is now vibrant in the downtown, and that was one of my objectives, to really bring the downtown to life. Secondly, was to continue bringing those national brands into our community, and that's something that has been my focus. But based on the needs, what are the needs? Infrastructure. For us to keep growing, we need to modernize our infrastructure, our waste treatment plant, not only on the north side, but on the south side.
Yeah.
Because my focus, or our council focus, if it's continuous, is being, really vibrant on both sides. The south side, which is my San Felipe and my Chihuahua, we still need to put some more businesses in this area. And that's something that we need to work. If you look at it, the Blue Wave, where did they go? On Gibbs. A persuasion, a negotiation, and say, hey, there's another area over there that you can put one. And you get the piece of the dollar forever. Now the other one, AutoZone, you mentioned it. There's another one coming up. So there's little businesses that are also rising. But we have to open the doors to whoever. My focus as a mayor is to emphasize the doors are open for any investors. Locally, I bless them. If they want to come in, we'll support you. Can we do better? Yes, and we're going to do better. We're going to do better on growing our community. And this is in my heart, and I hope the citizens of Del Rio support me, because I'm not one that wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to run for mayor. I've been there.
Yes, sir.
In the last 4.5 years, it's been the progress of my community, our community. I call it mine, but it's ours. We need to join together and grow our community to the next level, because there's a lot of potential. And I can tell you one thing: I got a member of the EDC board sitting on this table. They can visualize and see what the community potential is here. But we have to collaborate and work together and continue on the progress of growth. Our second international bridge, I came in, and the first thing they told me, this is a vision. In 2014, we started the vision. We started growing on the second international bridge, and it has been up and down like the stock johns. I think now it's steady until we get to the final stage, and that's something that is going to bring a lot of progress in our community. Is it going to affect me? I don't know. The people have to realize that without putting this in play, we're not going to have the growth and potential. And I am sick and tired of everybody comparing us to Eagle Pass. Nah, we're a better community. We just got to do better and get to the next level.
And that was my next question. What would you say to the people that might not think that way? They might think you haven't done enough. What can you tell them?
Well, I think everybody wants to see a lot in the first term, which is great. But you have to remember, there's a lot of puzzles to this. It is not just the vision of saying, well, I'm going to bring all these stores and all this other stuff. There's other things that are on the needs, and we have to prioritize.
That pop up, right? Sometimes
yes,
like the water issue that we had.
If you remember back in the ice storm, we had some issues with our generators. We had some issues with the backup stuff. So we have to fix that. Now, can I say that this has been a neglection on our part? Possibly, but I don't, I haven't been there on the last 22 years to characterize what we need. But now I'm there, and I'm focused on trying to put this into play. Yes, people want, every brand to come to Del Rio, but there is a negotiation process for that. And really, honestly, the growth is potential. We still have the I-27 corridor that we're working on. Okay. That is a potential trucking corridor that's going to bring commercial freight from Eagle Pass to Del Rio. It's probably going to alleviate some of the commercial trucks that come from Laredo all the way to Del Rio and then up to San Angelo. My source right now, as the mayor of the city, I'm lobbying for the expansion of I-27 from San Angelo to Del Rio, because if y'all been here the last 7, 8, 9 months, how many accidents have we had over there by the lake on our dam?
A whole bunch.
Rigs head collisions with vehicles. Things are happening. Trailers, and this is where I think there's another vision of trying to say to everybody, yes, the expansion for the second internal bridge is very good for us, but the avenues of saying I haven't done enough, look around at the progress. Texas Roadhouse didn't just come up, and it was on my term. If you look around, other stores have been popping up. Look at Teriyaki Madness, look at everything that's out there. Now, they are, everybody says, well, they come up and then they'll go out of business. Well, remember one thing, this is on all the citizens too.
Yeah.
Are we shopping local?
That's the other thing, yeah.
Are we shopping local? Because, and I'm going to tell you honestly, even on me, I like to go to different little food trucks and taste the hamburgers from Mr. Astro Burger, and they go buy those, taquitos al pastor,
different places.
So different, but you're putting your money into different, businesses, small business that you can say they're generating that income, and then they're putting it back into our community, because don't they go to H-E-B and buy the meats, or the Apache meat market, or they go buy the groceries in H-E-B? Don't they go and they spend the dollars here? So they're generating the same amount and putting it back into play. So this is something that is very important. Help the small business, because they also generate income for all of us.
Yeah, they do. I think that's something very big, right? We need to support our local businesses here locally and try to, like you said, try to spread the wealth a little bit between all the troquitas and buy here first, right? And I think that's something very important. So,
Mayor, now, and I guess, I'll ask it here. What do you say to the people that don't believe in you? That say, you know what, we didn't see nothing, and going on the Roadhouse, they didn't see enough. With so many, like we just had last customer, with so many out putting their name for mayor, how would you get them to say, give me one more chance?
You know what? I'm a man of results. I'm a man of progress. I'm a man of pushing it forward. I'm a man that really stands and listens to every individual in our community. Pros and cons. I'm not gonna go against anybody. I want to listen to your concerns, and this is where I always said God gave me 2 ears and 2 eyes and 1 mouth. First, I listen and visualize, and then I put it into action with my mouth. And this is what I think I've been doing for the last 4 years. I haven't been just sitting there and say, well, okay, I'll let it up to the administration. No, this is on us. As a mayor, you can only do so much too. You can go out and PR yourself and PR the city, and then they have to come in and relate to the administration, our EDC directors and whoever's there to push it and bring it home. You think if it was for me, I can't go out there and generate all the new commerce to come in, the brands to come in? Hell yeah. But it's something that I have to name, bring it into play, bring it to EDC, and let the negotiations start from there. Now, how do I turn those negatives into positive? All I tell them is look around our community. Look at the progress that we've done in the last. I guarantee you, if you go through, and I'm going to go ahead and present the list to everybody, but you're looking at close to $80 million of investments that has been done. Where are we getting it? Look at all the businesses there. How many hotels have we started?
Yeah.
And what's the cost of his hotel, and what's the generating income that it's giving us? So look around. Everybody says, well, what have you done? Then where are you? Go to Bedell. Go to Veterans. Everybody wants to go to Veterans. What do you think? Because they want a piece of that dollar. We have a Dunkin' Donut at Walmart. Walmart just did a general facelift.
Yeah.
Okay.
Una manita de gato que le dijeron ahí.
That's what I tell them. The vision, and you think progress is not there, then look at it. Look what I seen in the last 3.5 years.
And I still remember. I think it was right, compadre. I think it was January of this year. Was it this year? I remember you sat down with us and you told us, what, I'm tired. I'm gonna start holding people accountable, and we need to move forward that way. This past city council meeting, looks like you held 2 people accountable. Now
Was it just you? Though?
Was it?
Well, at this point, I'm gonna give you this, Mrs. Burkhardt. It was a mutual separation. The second one, I can't go into details. Personnel and legal tells me right now to be careful until we have all our ducks in a row. So
Okay.
By law, I can't.
Okay.
But we'll identify it as we go.
Is that going to be more what we're going to see of you if you're re-elected for another 4 more years? More accountability, more following up with,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure
Projects that are done.
projects to say, hey, why is it taking so long? It shouldn't, what's the movement? Is the money there?
Well, one of the things that I'm going to stall you on that and let you know that I have, the accountability word is very strong with wherever place I've been, if I was in the school district, hospital, city, and now back with the city again. But the thing that I kind of assure you that the employees that are running the city are still there. Their focus is still to do the right thing for the citizens, and this is where my trust is. Now, yes, I believe on all the administrators. I think everybody has a piece of what they bring into play, but my word is strong accountability and actions. I believe in actions, and I stated earlier, I don't want to live on hopes because they're great, but you have to put it into action so that our people can believe that you're the right person to lead us. Now, anybody can come and say, I'm going to change it tomorrow. It's going to be pretty tough.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is state. Remember, on the city, is chartered by who? Our city manager.
Our city manager.
Okay? If it was a different story, and this is something that we can't judge, is that we are not managing, we're advisors to the administration. And I think that's where I tell you, as far as the employees of the city, all of them, you look at parks, you look at maintenance and operations, you look at everybody, they're out there doing their job. What happened in administration, it's there, but they're still doing their operations.
Okay.
They're still fixing our streets. They're still fixing our water. They're still fixing everything that's out there. So this is where I think we deserve that respect to them. That whoever's the mayor and or even the administrator who's coming in, or tomorrow we have a very important meeting. And I can't give you the details on it till tomorrow, but it is very important for the citizens to take tune on that, because it is going to reflect that this council, this mayor, we're open to really making the right choice and putting that person, whoever it is, in the right position to continue where we're at and the progress that we need to progress. Because could take 4 or 5 months, and then additional or 6 months, and then advertise for any positions that we have available. But the city will still go on.
Now, they're asking here, and about the city debt. Obviously, it can't be erased overnight, right? If given 4 more years, what is your plan? Obviously we can't raise tariffs and say, oh, it's gonna fix our debt. But definitely, what is más o menos
Your vision, yeah.
Your vision, porque when I don't have money, and aquí tengo my wife and Esteban that ask me for things, and I don't know where to come up with it. It hurts me. I mean, I'm pretty sure it hurts you that we're in this debt right now, that you just hear, because we don't have money, and we don't have money.
Well, I'm going to tell you, as far as not having money, it means not money to go out and do some other adventures that we weren't supposed to. We are on the day-to-day operations that are smoothly running. But I think I stated earlier, I think we're holding people more accountable. We're not spending without knowing that we have it. And this is where I think coming in, we ask for an audit to be done completely, so we know what the check and balance is. So like this, we know exactly what's left and what we can spend. And I think that's where I come in as a business person, that I rely on the final and make sure that it's accurate. In other words, every year you end up with a final budget. You have to know that is accurate and appropriate for you to spend it for the next year. But you got to remember, whatever you invest and put it into action in your budget, you have to prepare for the next 10, 20 years. You can't just say, I'm going to spend it today and that's it. Now, we are limiting some of the other expenses, which is buying trucks and buying other things that are still essential, they're still needed, but now we're going to go as we go. If there's a need, then we'll get it. The police department are very important. We still continue on the vision that whatever the police department do an awesome thing with the Lone Star grants. They get a lot of money for their shields and stuff that they need, including vehicles. So that is awesome. Hopefully we can get into, that piggyback of trying to get additional grants. And I've stated it 3.5 years now. There's a lot of funds out there. We just got to go look for it. And we're aggressively looking at. I think EDC is getting their own grant writer.
Yes.
So that would be an avenue that could be utilized for the city too.
Yes, there's definitely, and there's things that obviously with Fresh New Eyes, you see things what to do. And just to clarify to our listeners and people on chat, we are still waiting for early voting numbers. I know it is 8:43 right now and no early voting numbers, so hopefully it does come out here pretty soon.
Una de las cosas que también tienen que saber los ciudadanos desde el Río Texas es de que cada elección es importante y tienen que salir a votar.
Okay.
Ustedes los han dicho
Muy bien.
varias veces en el radio, en su show.
Sí.
Esto es importante. Y no nomás ahorita que es un primary, sino in the city, in school, in the hospital election que is coming up. We need everybody to come up. Necesitamos toda la gente que venga a votar. Y nunca pienses en tu mentalidad que tu voto no va a servir. No, sí está sirviendo. Primero, vas a traer un candidato que va a poner la visión en nuestra comunidad, y es donde, yo les pido que salgan, porque cuando vas a Austin, tú quieres pedir algo, te van a decir, pues ¿cuántos votadores votaron? 6,000. En Eagle Pass votaron 14,000. Okay, so who's going to take the priority? And this is where I think we have to let the community know, and everybody, vote. Your voice is your vote. It doesn't mean your voice is not heard if you don't vote, but it is your voice, because you put in an X to a candidate that has that vision that you want to put forward. Now, I personally think that, within this election, I don't know how many came out today, but you're looking at what, 6,500 votes?
Somewhere around there, depending on how many came out to vote today. It was around 4,500 that
It
we
was
had.
4,500. Yeah, so, I mean,
So-
it must be close to 6, I think, maybe, if we get there, I think.
But I stated earlier, I think the applause and the handshakes and really letting all these candidates and their family know that they made a difference.
Yeah.
They put their name on a ballot, and that's something that we got to commend them, respect them, because some of us take, we're the candidates, but our family takes the heat of a lot of the
sí.
circus,
Eso sí.
things that are said out there and discussions and everything. And this is where, this is what turns off a lot of voters sometimes, or a lot of people that want to get themselves, in a ballot, because they know that for whatever reason, the past and the future, and it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
And this is what I think, and this is what should be done. At the end of the day, once you left you're not the candidate, the respect should still continue.
Oh, yeah.
And this
Yes.
is where I think we should applaud all these candidates for stepping up and telling thank you for doing it, because it takes a lot of guts to come out and put your name on a ballot. Because
It
God
does.
knows what
That
they're gonna
does.
throw at you, and
As I
God
said.
knows what they're coming back to throw
What they're
at
gonna-
you.
yeah.
And then if you already been there, they're gonna try to get you for whatever they find that is in that little 4
Even
years,
more.
3 years. you've
Yeah.
been there. So
Even
this
more.
is what I tell everybody. I say, it's very easy to put your name out there and hide behind the shadows, but when you're out in the public, and I've been one of those mayors, and anybody can say, I've been one of those mayors that I've been in everything that I can. If it's in the school, the hospital, the county, I don't hold back. I try to be, because at the end of the day, a partnership still remains. Can we say it's a perfect marriage? No. Because you show me a perfect marriage, and I'll tell you what, I'll bow to you, because we all have our differences, including the ones at home.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
why are we going to hold each other for one of the discussion? We move on and we push everybody, and let's make sure that Del Rio and Valverde and the school and the hospital is united for the purpose of our citizens of Del Rio. And this is where we have to push in.
Yeah.
Progress is coming, but we have to unite. The EDC, I am very, very proud to say that we got an energy that has been, it's been there, but now is really striving, and hopefully it doesn't die out, and it continues with the vision of what we want to put in our community.
Mike, any closing questions?
No, I just want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for being here and spending time with us. If you want, we can go ahead and look into the camera right there. Kick off your campaign.
Yes.
Let's tell the voters why they should give you another 4 years.
My name is Al Arriola, and I'm currently the mayor of the city of Del Rio. One of the things that I'm going to tell you, I am the progress. I am the future of the city of Del Rio. We are moving our city and shaking it and bringing in everything that we can for the community. By the way, this starts April 20th to 29th is early voting, and May 2nd is the final. I humbly ask for your vote. And if you have a question, doubt, or hesitation about me and my presentation, I'm available all the time. I'm a call away. The City Hall, and this is something that I've always told everybody. I might not have town halls out on the Civic Center or anywhere else, but I do have them at City Hall. If there's an issue with the water gas, if it's or a bill or anything, I do tell my citizens, go to the city and we'll sit down and I'll put you with a prospective individual that is going to solve your problem. Because that's the way it's supposed to be done. Because this is the reason I represent the community. And the first time I ran, I said community. The second time I said community, but with progress. And that's Al Arriola. Vote for Al Arriola, please. And God bless y'all.
It's not already,
Thank
guys.
you. We're
Mr.
gonna
Mayor,
go
thank you so
to
much.
a quick commercial break so we can get some results.
Early
Ponle
results.
Padrino para la Fox, para que le hable a Miss Chapoy. ¿Dónde está? Be right
Dale,
back, Del
we'll be
Rio.
right back.
Alrighty, guys. I just want to come on here very briefly. I know everybody's sending us messages of any updates, and definitely, guys. I don't know. We want to bore you with a bunch of talking, but definitely, we are still here waiting. It's currently 9:08. We have been live for about 2 hours. Definitely had some great interviews with some candidates for city council, also mayor, and also we did have somebody here for Valverde County Judge, Mr. Bo Nettleton. So definitely thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm seeing here on the bigger race, obviously the one U.S. Representative District 23, right now with 54% of the precincts reporting, Tony Gonzalez up by 5%, 45 to 40%. Obviously there's 2 other people running, so it's a 4-candidate race.
Okay.
I'm looking at a 5% ahead still of our current House Representative Congressman Tony Gonzalez. So he's ahead by 5%. And I put it, como decir, and definitely it does keep updating as it goes there. But definitely, guys, no early voting. People saying que a lo mejor dicen que todavía que they're going to bring us all at once.
I don't know. That's something that I don't think they've done in the past, but it's something that might be happening today. We'll have to see. Maybe we were talking right now, and they've got to bring some votes in from Comstock, Langtree. So I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for those. Maybe they're not here yet. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait, right?
I mean, it is not no new news for the Valverde County, right? I think at one point we were one of the last ones to report in the whole state of Texas.
At one point or the other.
At one point or the other, we've been here to 1 o'clock in the morning. I just hope at least we get our early voting to give an idea of where the candidates stand. And, as the growing people out here, out there, you have the candidates here, and to some of them. Some of them start here, and the other ones.
Nos preguntan what are the plates on the table.
Sí.
Son
You know
unos
what?
croissants.
I got a big shout out to our good friends there, Mr. Spanky and Rick Martinez there at the 5 Points, hooking us up with some cream puffs ahí. También our treasurer, Valverde, treasurer Mr. Aaron Rodriguez, a little mini security board. I guess that's the best way to put it. No nos pusieron todo, but definitely, guys.
Yes, we appreciate everything.
Yeah, so appreciate everything. Also, appreciate all of y'all watching. But I want to talk a little bit about this here, compadre. That one race that, everybody what happened,
Which one?
The Tony Gonzalez and Brandon Herrera, and those other 2. I mean, did you honestly think he would be in a winning situation right now?
Right now, no. Now, how much are they counted?
54 precincts are only counted.
54% of the precincts. Okay.
Yeah.
So 54. Let's say about 55%. So they still got about 45% to go. And it's kind of close. 5% is Tony Gonzalez is up, so you never know, right?
Yeah, you never know on that one.
It depends. It might be that in some other counties, it goes the other way.
It goes the other way, yeah.
So it just depends. We can't say till you get more votes in, just like here, right? We still can't give a result for anybody until early voting, and even that one kind of lets you predict a little bit, but you still want to wait for all the votes to come in, right? So it's just a waiting game here now, and we've been doing this for a long time. And I do want to send a big shout out to the county clerk here. Last elections that we've had, they have been coming out fast. So a big shout out to her for doing those counts quick. Now today, I think it's taken a little bit longer than usual, especially for early voting.
For what we're used to. Es que, ¿sabes qué? Nos impuso.
Yeah.
Nos impuso de
Nos chifló.
Nos chifló and I mean.
Now, we gotta wait. We're just waiting here. So we're in the same boat as you guys. So we're just waiting to get all the results, and as soon as we get them, we'll be able to hear Ms. Chapoy give the results out, and then we'll talk a little bit about that.
And we talked a little bit about it in Town Talk Live. Going back to the van list on the Democratic side, and they put out those numbers. That precinct 4 race.
Yeah. That's a very important race.
That's a very one because so that was only the total amount of early voting, give or take, was about 700. was about 700. Today, when I left there about 3:30, about 4, there were about a 216.
216. Okay. So not a lot of people went out to vote for that. Because remember, when it's a certain precinct, only the people from that precinct can vote. So, yeah, it's they're not too big
And
numbers.
then they also had
too big of a numbers.
They also have two. I don't know. Would you want it subdivided precincts that they have to vote in Comstock too?
Yeah.
So,
So yeah,
what
you gotta
numbers
wait
are
for
over
the-
there? I really
That's
don't know.
the other thing, yeah. Precinct 3, we did have a vote count at 5:30, and it was 523 people. Now that is for Precinct 3, right? We weren't able to go get the rest of them, but those are the amounts that we got. 523 was the total amount at 5:30. Now there was still people there lining up to vote, and maybe that's what's also taking a little time, right there. They got to let everybody that's in line to vote. So, but we'll have to see.
And you know what? I want to ask you that you've been doing this, compadre, for a while. Why is it that precinct goes out and votes so much? What are they? ¿Qué es la mentalidad de ellos? I guess, I mean, I don't know. You've seen it for, I mean,
Yeah, since
not,
I've-
obviously you're not 55, but boys, going on 55 years, and it's always precinct 3.
Three,
here
yeah,
in Del
three,
Rio.
three has always shown out and has always had good numbers in voting. I bet you a lot of people that did go also to vote in early voting was from that precinct. So I don't know, man. It's just the people that live there, I guess, that they do.
They care.
They care.
They care.
Let's say
okay.
it that way. They care, and they like the process. They like doing it, and that's the only thing that I can think of, right? That they do care a little bit more, and they do want their vote to count. So that's the only thing that I can.
I mean, just in early voting, I mean, you're just looking at
It
almost.
was how much for early voting? 4,302
in total.
in total. Yeah, in total. So for all the precincts and all the early vote, or not all the precincts, all the early voting for both parties, there was a total of 4,302. So I don't know. I don't know what are we gonna get to what number are we gonna be able to get to in this? I think this
The one that I know for sure really surprised me of how low it was precinct 4.
precinct
Now
4,
we'll
yeah.
go back to it, saying precinct 4 with only those early voting numbers of just 700 really shocked me, just because you know that you've seen at least 4 digits on there.
Yeah.
You know, 1,200, 1,300.
Yeah, I don't know. Are people tired of voting? Are people tired of not being heard? Or what are people tired of? I don't know. And it's going to get worse, right? Because we don't only have the Valverde County elections and some important propositions that are on there, but we also have city elections coming up. And then on that one, I believe we should be having a runoff because there's 6 candidates for mayor.
Yeah.
So I don't know. People are going to get tired from here to May to voting. But it's something that we need to do.
It's gonna be they're gonna call it something like voting-itis or something.
Voting-itis.
Because it's gonna be. I mean, there's a lot of elections. I mean, and they're all important.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some people that aren't gonna vote probably for the city, and they're not
Like
gonna vote for
already
the
went.
hospital board. You know, yeah. And there's some people that maybe they didn't understand, and so they went to go vote for the primaries, and they're asking, how come the mayor's not on there?
Yeah.
Or maybe they think they already voted, and you know,
they
that's
don't
it.
have to go out.
So that's why people like us are out there
Trying
get to explain that and share
And
all
that's
the
something
information.
very important. We even had a gentleman that we were here at 6:30, and he came out here and he told us, "Hey, where's the line to vote?" And I was like, "Well, where do you live? Because
Yeah.
you kind of need to know where you live so you can know where you go.
Where to
vote."
go,
So
yeah.
he said he lived by Guadalupe, so I was like, I think we sent him to the Joe Ramos,
Ramos,
excuse me,
yeah.
Joe Ramos Center, because I think that would be his precinct, right? So it's just, I don't know, it's just people wait for the last minute, but also people get tired, right?
Liliana Yvette on chat saying, tired of never being heard. A ver, que oí. What's up?
No.
¿Cómo ver? No. Tired.
Of never being heard, no matter the vote. Okay.
So, I mean, this is the opportunity.
Y nos pregunta de how many registered voters are in precinct 4. Well, that's gonna be kind of hard because they try to always divide the precincts. They remap them every so often to be able to have almost the same amount of voters for each precinct, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly how many, but they try to do, say there's 30,000.
That's something we can probably reach out to Miss Loli Garcia and see
Yeah.
if she has those
Okay, yeah.
numbers.
But yeah, it's gonna be kind of hard to get an exact amount on each one. But even that, I don't think a lot of people go out and vote. I mean, we've only seen 4,302 go for early voting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say how much do you want to say went out to vote? 1,500 maybe at the
Today, at the most, maybe 1,000, because a lot of people. I was surprised that so many people went to early voting.
Oh, yeah.
Usually, I feel like the smaller numbers, the early voting, and then more people vote on the day of. But I think this, I don't know why, I feel like it's backwards this cycle. But I think we talked about earlier, maybe 6,000, 6,500 total.
Total, maybe
votes
rounding up, hopefully.
is what the number looks like. If it's that, I still wish it was more, but
At least 20%.
it is what it is. I mean, we people do our best to get people to come vote, and if they still don't want to come vote,
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, and it goes, and you guys talked about earlier, I think we talked about it with probably every single person here, was when they voted for the bridge. Think about it. Only those 6,000 or 4,000 that voted that time made that decision.
yeah. And with the county, if you look at the whole county, I mean, we're over probably closer to 50,000
That's
people.
what I'm saying. So,
And it's only 6,000 people that decide that. But I remember in previous elections, it was like 3,000 people
Yeah.
that made
It's
that
always
decision.
been low.
So it's grown. We're just not there yet. We just got to keep pushing and get people to go.
And we were talking about this before we got before the election started. We were talking with 830 Times people and stuff like that, and we were saying that's why a lot of these candidates, and I repeat myself, and I always do this on the show, but that's why big candidates don't come to our town.
Yeah.
Because they're saying like, number if only 5,000 people vote.
Yep.
Number, let me just focus maybe on. I hate saying this, but Eagle Pass, right? Because 8,000, 10,000, 14,000 go out and vote over there. So.
Yeah.
The matters numbers do matter, right? Especially for all these big elections or state representatives, stuff like that, because they want to go to a place, which sounds bad, right? They should serve everybody the same, but they want to focus on which one are they going to be able to get more votes in. So that's why sometimes you don't see these big candidates come to our city, to our small city. So we're just gonna have to see what happens, but I think that's where we, not only as a radio station, but all the radio stations and all the medias and all the outlets need to focus and try to invite people.
And not just us, but even the entities themselves. Just
Yes.
put the information out there,
County,
put it out more
city,
often, make it more available. I mean, make bigger signs. I mean, anything, just so people know where to go. Like you said, the one gentleman came earlier, did not know where to go. There's no reason for that.
He said he got a call from his daughter just to go out and vote, but he didn't know where.
He didn't know
anything like
where.
that. So,
Yeah.
So we kind of guided him where to go, and they told him, well, you need to hurry up because it's 6:30 and
They close in 30
at
minutes.
7. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
where did
okay.
did
It was
end up?
Joe Ramos.
Joe Ramos, right?
So yeah, so that's
Hopefully-
where we sent him, and I hope he
So-
was able to vote. But yeah,
I'm looking here. I'm on NBCnews.com just to kind of get some idea on the state races, right? So we have the Texas House District 23 primary. It's still early, way too early to call, but as of right now, on the Republican side, we got Tony Gonzalez leading Brandon Herrera 44% to 40%.
okay, about 5% up.
About 4%
Brandon.
up, and then on the Democrat side, we have Miss Katie Stout over the local gentleman Santos Limon,
Okay.
55 to 23%. So I feel like Miss Stout's going to be the projected
Yeah,
winner
she's
on
gonna
that
be the
one. But still too close to call there between the incumbent Tony Gonzalez. Obviously, they got all
And-
that stuff going on with Tony and Brandon Herrera, who I've met him a couple times. He seems like a good dude, but I know we've also met and we talk to Tony Gonzalez all the time, and